Angels are human beings, for the entire heaven is in a human form. Indeed, every angel is in the form of a man. The whole heaven is a likeness of man, and every angel is a man in the complete form. Emanuel Swedenborg. Greetings and salutations, mortals. It's a beautiful day, full of opportunity. I am your humble and gracious host, Simeon, here to unravel the mysteries that clouds the mind. And that makes this the Library of Gnosis. Welcome, traveler! The 16th century Swiss-German physician, alchemist, and philosopher Paracelsus is known as the father of toxicology among medical students, but to his own followers, he was hailed as the German Hermes Trismegistus. Paracelsus saw humanity with remarkable clarity. He taught that every human was a sleeping angel, divine beings wearing temporary costumes, the limus terrera, the mud of earth, draped over a star-born astral essence whose true form never left the celestial realms. He reasoned that true freedom lived in man's mind, that it was his sanctum sanctorum, or holiest of holies, and that the spiritus or mind could act at a distance, like sunlight projecting warmth even through glass. This is the foundation of all true magic. Not the bending of external forces by external means, but the awakening of what already is. The recollection of a royalty that never abdicated. To quote the very Gnostic movie, The Matrix, "It is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself." And the soul is like the eye. When resting upon that on which truth and being shine, the soul perceives and understands, and is radiant with intelligence. But when turned towards the twilight of becoming and perishing, then she has opinion only, and goes blinking about, and is first of one opinion, and then of another, and seems to have no intelligence. Neither sight, nor the eye in which sight resides is the sun, no? Yet, of all the organs of sense, the eye is the most like the sun, by far the most like. And the power which the eye possesses is a sort of effluence which is dispensed from the sun. Exactly. Then the sun is not sight, but the author of sight, who is recognized by sight. True, he said. And this is he whom I call the child of the good, whom the good begat in his own likeness to be in the visible world, in relation to sight and the things of sight. What the good is in the intellectual world, in relation to mind and the things of mind. Plato. Plato argued that every person possesses an inner faculty, the eye of the soul, often translated as the mind's eye or the organ of knowledge. This is not a physical eye, but the capacity for intellectual and spiritual vision. The ability to perceive truth, goodness, justice, and reality itself. What Plato calls the forms. The instrument of knowledge can only by the movement of the whole soul be turned from the world of becoming into that of being. This faculty is in every soul, but like an eye that cannot turn from darkness to light unless the whole body turns with it. Plato. Thus the turning is everything, the whole soul pivots, and with that pivot the sleeping angel stirs. Jan the divine saw the measure of the heavenly city, and he wrote, and he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. Revelation 21. The measure of a man and the measure of an angel are the same. Not metaphorically, literally. Paracelsus thought not that you have an angel, but that you are one dreaming. Your true self, the Ogyges, luminous or star-born body, never fell into matter. It remains seated in the celestial realm, perfect and whole, like a king who never leaves his throne. What you call you, this walking, breathing, anxious personality, is merely the dream of that angel. Your pains, your doubts, your mortal struggles, those are the dream contents of a being who is already free, already enlightened, already home. The body and its surrounding world are the stage of that dream. Thus, the holy guardian angel is not a separate being to be summoned. It is you. But you woken up, recollected, and reunited with your immortal source. The entire spiritual path is the angel's slow stirring within the dream. The moment the dreamer begins to remember she is dreaming. We do not learn, and that what we call learning is only a process of recollection. Plato, Meno Dialogue. Plato argued that learning is not about discovering new information from the outside world, but rather remembering knowledge that the soul already possesses from a previous existence. The term for this is anamnesis, meaning a calling to mind, recollection or memory. It derives from the word ana, meaning up, back, again, or thoroughly. In this context, it implies bringing back or recovering, and meneme, meaning memory, originating with the term minesko, to remember or to remind. In short, ana back again, amnesis, memory, constituting anamnesis, recollection. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, inheriting this current, elaborated the concept with great precision. For them, the holy guardian angel is the genius, the transcendent spiritual self that mediates between the divine self and the lower personality, serving as a guardian and a guide. It is the Ogoidis of Iamblichus, the Atman of Hinduism, the Daimon of the ancient Greeks. The Golden Dawn taught that contact between the higher divine self and the lower self must be initiated by the personality. When the lower self reaches upward, the higher self is then experienced as a separate being. And this contact is the first step in the great work, culminating in the discovery of one's true will. 'Tis true without lying, certain and most true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to do the miracles of one only thing. Smaragdina Tabula, 1680, Newton translation. To facilitate this contact, the Golden Dawn adapted and employed the boneless ritual. Originating from the Greco-Egyptian magical papyri, the ritual invokes the Headless One, an entity reinterpreted as the Bornless One, without beginning or end, who symbolizes the unity of the divine and the practitioner, adapted by the Golden Dawn and later by Aleister Crowley's AA. The ritual serves as a powerful invocation of the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. It is not merely an exorcism or healing rite. It is a method of spiritual protection, purification, and preparation, aiming to forge a direct and conscious link with one's higher spiritual nature. To attain this knowledge and conversation is considered the same as achieving enlightenment or cosmic consciousness. Visualization is an important aspect within many, if not all, magical traditions, including the Golden Dawn. Through visualization and imagination, your mind can travel and reach through the various dimensions, and also allows you to contact other beings, including the higher self of others, as well as other forms of life. Have you ever spoken to someone and they mentioned something synchronistically and oddly specific relating to your own journey? I myself suspect that this might be the angel within them speaking to you. A sort of celestial inside joke meant to guide your lower self and to awaken the sleeping divinity inside of you to the magic behind the scene. If the true self remains in heaven Where in the human being does contact occur? Paracelsus places it in the mind, not the brain, not the rational intellect, but the spiritus, the innermost seat of imagination, will, and perception. This mind is your sanctum sanctorum, the holy of holies. Just as the high priest entered the temple's deepest chamber only once a year, so too must you pass through the layers of noise, habit, and false self to find this core. Within it hangs no Ark of the Covenant, but the living presence of your own angelic nature. True freedom, he says, lives there, not in outer action, not in political or physical liberty, but in the inviolable power of inner attention. No tyrant can enter your holy of holies unless you unlock the door. No event can stain it. It is the one place where you are utterly, divinely free. So how do you awaken the sleeping angel? By ascending the spiritus, by raising your inner attention and imaginative fire towards the celestial realm. This is not a physical journey. You are not going up through space. Rather, you are aligning the dream with the dreamer. Paracelsus gives the analogy of sunlight projecting warmth through glass. The sun, the angel, does not move. The glass, your purified mind, does not break. Yet suddenly, in the room, the material world, there is heat, real, tangible, effective. When he says the ascending spiritus acts at a distance like sunlight projecting warmth through glass, he is describing operative magic, real, physical, causal influence across space without contact. This is not authenticity or presence. It is the mind as a direct agent upon matter. Mind over matter. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The Kybalion. If the universe is mental, then the mind is not a cage, but a throne. As the Zoroastrian maxim states, good thoughts, good speech, and good deeds. I recently learned some very helpful techniques for cleaning up the cluttered mind from David McEwan. A surprisingly effective method for removing evil or negative thoughts is to ask the guards or guardian angels to cast them out for you in your mind. Alan Watts once said that when the mind is in pain, the mind is pain. The mind does not contain pain like a box contains a stone. The mind becomes the pain. The entire field of consciousness, in that moment, takes the shape of that sensation. The experiencer and the experience or one. But when the mind ascends, that same substance thins, brightens, and reaches. Another tip for dealing with worries, especially when out and about in the world, is to remind yourself that the world loves you and you love the world. These are not merely trivial mental exercises, but acts of mental hygiene and cosmic alignment aimed to declutter your internal world. Perspective, belief, and imagination are potent forces that affect both the internal and external conditions. The spirit is the master, imagination the tool, and the body the plastic material. The essence of man is not in his body, but in his imagination. The imagination is not a fantasy. It is a real act of the spirit that imprints itself on the stars and on the elements, moving them. Paracelsus. The spiritus is a subtle but real substance, not a mere thought. It is the astrum, star body, or corpus subtile, a vaporous, volatile medium that carries will and imagination. It can be condensed, projected, and directed. The Holy of Holies is a power chamber. Your innermost mind is not just a sanctuary, it is a lens and a furnace. When you ascend, meaning you withdraw all sensory dispersions and focus the spiritus to a point of intense willed imagination, the chamber becomes supercharged, like a concave mirror concentrating sunlight. It can now project that force outward. Focus your spiritus on a distant person, object, or event. Hold the image as if already real, not wishing but declaring. The spiritus travels instantaneously, not through space, but through the ens astorum, the celestial matrix. Ens astorum translates to the essence of the stars, or the being of the stars. In Paracelsian medicine and cosmology, it refers to the invisible, spiritual, or astral matrix that connects all things across space. It is not the physical stars themselves, but the subtle, casual medium through which celestial influences flow, and through which the spiritus, the human mind or imagination, can act at a distance. Paracelsus distinguished several ens, essences or casual powers. Ens die, divine essence. Ens naturale, natural essence. And ens astorum, stellar essence. The ens astorum governs influences that come from the heavens, including fate, planetary forces, and the non-local connection between distant objects. The effect appears physically: healing, harm, weather change, opening a locked door, influencing a distant animal. the glass does not become the sun, but it delivers the sun's warmth to a spot that the sun cannot directly reach. Your spiritus is that glass. The warmth is real, measurable, physical. Your will is the magnet. The spiritus is the invisible force. And the distant object is the iron. Hermes, or Mercury, was associated with the mind in alchemy. More specifically with the active mind, the mind that moves between realms. He is the guide of the souls, the psychopomp, because he knows the pathways. The logos is that pathway. It is the logic or mode of travel. The travel between the higher self and the lower self. Between heaven and earth. Between the angel and the dreamer. The spiritus is the vehicle of that travel. It is the substance that can be ascended, raised in vibration, focused in attention, and then projected. Without the spiritus, the angel's influence would remain celestial, never terrestrial. Without the logos, the one would remain silent, never spoken. Paracelsus famously thought that applying salve to a weapon, not the wound, could heal the wounded person at a distance. Why? Because blood on the weapon shares the spiritus vitae with the wounded person. By treating the weapon, you act directly on the living matrix, connecting both. Man is a store, and he moves among the store as a store. The inner heaven is in man, and the outer heaven is only its image. Man is a sleeping angel, and when he awakens, he becomes a god. Paracelsus. And now, my fellow angels, if you made it this far, then please feel free to write "Angel dreams, man wakes" in the comments below, so I know you did. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast and that you learned something new. If you want to support me and my work, then feel free to send me a super chat on YouTube, become a channel member, or sign up for Patreon, where you get access to early releases of my videos, which include scripts containing my sources. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you. Yes, I am speaking directly to you listening right now. I will see you in the next one. Fare thee well and Godspeed, Seeker.